What is up, y'all? That was a tough loss. That's that shot at the end by OG. I can't even be mad at him. Similar to how I felt about Siakam, it was just there. It was like 99% done. OG, that was a good shot by OG. He had space. He made space against Jared Allen. Who had a very good game, to say the least. But it just didn't fall through, And Scotty did have a little bit of a chance at the very end. He had that tip in. It just wasn't enough power. Scotty, this game didn't play up to his standards, and I think we're quite spoiled. Because I felt like he was missing something, and it could have been that the injury, right? It's his first ever injury in NBA, right? And he's just coming back from it, and it's not too worrying, especially when he played decently. He didn't play amazing. We know what he's capable of, and so it was a little bit disappointing, but also it's actually quite a good thing, because if he can play like that, decent enough points. He got a double-double. He got a double-double playing not up to his par, which is great, right? But at the end of the day, he didn't play as well as he could have. And he had that chance to win it at the very, very end, just that tip in. If his first tap in went in, it would have been counted for sure. But can't be mad at OG. That was good separation. That was a good shot. Just didn't fall in. Osman almost blocked it too. I don't know if he had a touch on it. I don't think so though. But that guy, Osman, was on fire tonight. He was like 5 for 10 from 3 line. He was shooting. He was raining down threes. And overall, we were raining down threes. Now, not all of us, but our percentage was much higher than the Cavs. The Cavs shot terribly from the 3 line. But, at the end of the day, the only time they won, they were in the lead, is when they won. Unfortunate, it was a tough game to lose, at home too. We had, home court, and still we just couldn't finish it off. We've had a couple of those games where we're leading, especially in the fourth quarter and third quarter, especially in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, we're in the lead, but they chip us down. It's not too crazy, but they chip us down, and we would just edge it out. This game, it did not happen. This game, we just couldn't edge it out. It could have been a multitude of things, but at the end of the day, it's just we didn't play as well as we could have, basically. We did play well, but we just couldn't grind out that last part, in my opinion. Because, look at it. The last 2 minutes, right? We almost stole it. We made it into a jump ball, So we had all the right things, but it just didn't go our way. The refs called some things. No comment. I don't want to talk about that. I never like to comment on the refs too much about it, unless it's like blatant. But it's basketball. It's a sport. The refs they're gonna call it. Sometimes well, sometimes bad, sometimes good for your team, sometimes bad for your team, right? I'm not gonna focus on that, but it is what it is, and it's personally I dislike it even more because there's only a handful of guys who I really do not want to lose to. It's like the Draymond. I hate to lose to Draymond. I hate to lose to Embiid. I hate to lose to Sexton. There's a couple other guys. The list isn't that long. Maybe like five more, like 5 or 6 players that I don't want to play against or lose against, and Sexton is one of them. By the way, Marcus Smart is also another one. Anyway, that's a different story. Now let me get into the takeaways. Now, the first one, Trent is a god of defense. Jesus Christ, that last possession or near the last possession, he almost dispossessed. Well, he did. He knocked it out of bounds against Sexton. That was the first one. Immediately after that, he got, there was that trip, right? And that was against Garland, who played out of his mind. Couldn't contain him. And he had a hand on that too, and it was just very close. But Trent, he had 6 steals today. 6. I believe he's leading the NBA in steals. Is it surprising? The man had 6 steals tonight. 6. In the 6. But, like, that boy can play defense. I don't know where it just popped off, he was a decent defender in Portland, but it wasn't required of him to defend, right? But if he played defense, if he put in as much effort as he is now putting in defense when he was in Portland, that guy would have been the best defender in Portland. He probably would have gotten more minutes. So, but Portland doesn't play defense, right? But anyway, Gary played well. He was quite clutch in the moments that he needed to be. That circus shot at the end that went in, that was amazing. Didn't get a call, but it seems like Gary is here to just, that defense will not go away. It just seems like if he plays defense like that the whole season, put him on this defensive team, what can you say? That guy, what happens if he averages like 6 steals a game or something? It's insane, man. Like, I don't know, but Gary is the god of defense now. I think he's the best defender on our damn team. No, that's just an exaggeration, but you get what I mean, right? Yeah. The second one, we had trouble defending Jared Allen and Mobley, and it wasn't just because of those two guys, right? It was also Garland dishing it out to them, which is also on the part of Allen and Mobley, right? They have to catch it and score it, right? Or, get into a good position. And, it's not solely based on those two, but they did a great job. Allen had 15 rebounds. 15, And Mobley, everyone's talking about, he's in the top 5 of how the rookies are doing, He's within the top 5. He's number 3. Scotty's number 4, but Scotty just came back from injury. And Mobley played better than his usual self in terms of his past games this season. And, it's not too surprising because it's against us where we have no real center, right? Kem didn't play that well tonight. Probably his worst game, I'd say. I thought he would be getting into his groove, but the COVID for him, and it just didn't seem like he could really handle Allen Mobley. He wasn't terrible, that's a good thing. He wasn't Aaron Baines. He played decently, but Jared Allen and Mobley, we couldn't stop them. Garland, we couldn't stop him, Sexton, we did, shut down, but Garland, it was just, he's a good guy. He's a good player. I like him. I would, for sure I would, if I was the Cavs, I would, focus on Garland and Sexton. We would just, Sexton just trade away for something else, for just build around Garland, and Jared Allen, of course, and Mobley, of course. But yeah, we couldn't stop them, and we did well, but not enough, right, to beat the Cavs. I mean, the Cavs aren't a terrible team either. They're not a great team, as I mentioned in my prediction. They're not the bottom of the bottom, but they're lower mid tier. I think we're mid tier, and well, look, our wins and loss exactly the same, 6-4 now. We're both 6-4. So what to do? Now, fourth quarter, Raptors again cut it close, but this time we lost. As I mentioned before, we tend to step off. We let teams get close. Other games we closed it out. We did close it out, and we were very close to closing it out tonight. It just was not, it wasn't our night in terms of that. We did a lot, but not enough. We didn't have that lucky bounce. If it was Kawhi, who knows? Maybe it could have bounced. That OG shot bounced and went in. Who knows? But it happens, right? In another dimension, another universe, Kawhi shot would have not gone in, right? In another universe, OG shot would have went in. But that's just how the game works, and we did okay, but not enough. Especially, I don't know, again with the refs, I don't know if I should blame it on the refs, but come on, we had 9 free throws the whole game. And it's also bad because we didn't get those free throws, those minimum amount of free throws in. We were like 50%. We were like 4 out of 9. We can't shoot 4 out of 9 free throws. It's terrible. We need to get more, and we need to get them in. But what to do, right? They had 19 free throws compared to a 9. That's not good. Not good. We gotta knock those down. Now, the 3 usuals. Best performance, OG. OG, he did miss the game winner, but throughout the game, he played well. Come on, he was 4 for 4 at one point at field goal percentage. And he ended up with 10, just below 50%, just below. It's just sad because, OG did play well. Scotty, you know that, but it seems like OG is consistent, and that's all I can ask from him. I don't mind. I don't care if I'd rather him be consistently getting 20-point games, 23, than he gets 30 and then he gets 13 and 12 and then another 30, and then back to a 10, then a 7, and then a 33. No, I don't want that. I want a consistent 20, 22, 23-point game every game. And he's capable of doing that, right? So we'll have to see. Worst performance, Svi. Svi was not Fiji water. No. He was just tap water. It was pretty not good. It was not his shooting night. He didn't defensively, not up to his standard, which is, it's he's building that that people know him, right, for a lot better defense than tonight. And it was just not his game. It's just one game. I'm sure he'll bounce back next game. Better defense. But tonight just wasn't his night. Nothing bad about that. 6-man performance, Delano. D-Rex, the limited amount of minutes he got, he was efficient. He got his points. That spark again. But I feel like this is the best thing you can get out of him. Like that amount of points out of out of those minutes. That's kind of stat. I think that's the best case scenario from him. I don't expect him to drop 18 and stuff like that. No, I don't expect him to do like 20. No, definitely not 20s. So today's game, I feel like he did what he had to do, right? He could have shot a bit more, but what to do? He contributed on his end, efficient. And it's just sad that we were so close tonight, but just couldn't edge it out. Much less at home, much less against Sexton, who had a terrible game, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But he went home with a W. We came, we were left with an L. So that's it. It's time to drink my sorrows away.